Alright, in the last one, we learned how to write a Terraform code for ECR. And that was really important to set the base. In this one, I'm pretty excited to talk about how to apply Terraform code for ECR via GitLab Pipeline. So if you master this section, you pick up any Terraform code, you pick up any infrastructure as a code for AWS, for GCP, for Azure, for DigitalOcean, could be any cloud, could be any platform. Now we're talking about GitLab, but even if it's not GitLab, any YAML based, could be GitLab, GitHub, could be Azure DevOps. You would know how to write pipeline for infrastructure as a code and deploy it using the YAML based pipeline. So this is specific for GitLab. However, if you champion this, if you master this one, you could write it for any of the YAML based pipeline. So what we're going to learn is we're going to learn how to apply Terraform code into multiple stages. So you've got multiple stages over here, and you could differentiate your Terraform code into multiple stages. Like first one is for build, second is for validate, then for init, then for plan, then for apply, then for destroy. You could segregate your pipeline as much as you can, but we have kept it simple in this one. If you learn how to run this one, you could do it and segregate into multiple other section as well. All right, I'm pretty excited to tell you how you could apply infrastructure as a code via GitLab Pipeline. I'll see you in the demo. Thank you. All right, so what did we do in the last one? We wrote Terraform code for our AWS container registry ECR. What we're going to do is we're going to elevate this to the pipeline, and I'm going to show you how you could start running your infrastructure as a code also on GitLab. There most likely 90% of the time you'll be dealing with two things. First is the running the application code, and the second is infrastructure as a code. Application code, I showed you how you can build an application and push it to GitLab and start running the continuous integration and delivery for it. In this one, we're going to start with the infrastructure as a code, running it on the pipeline. How do you do that using GitLab? One of the other important thing is you need to make sure that you start writing the code on your local and then push it to your pipeline. All right, so what I'm going to do is we need a bunch of information. First of all, we need access key, and we need the secret key as well, right? So I'm gonna do a var dot access key, and then I'm gonna var dot secret key. All right, I'm gonna go back to I've got AWS registry open. So what we need to do is first we need to get the remember we have defined the bucket details. We haven't defined the bucket details, so we got to define the bucket details. That's for saving the state file. Okay, for now, if you don't understand the concept of state, just follow it blindly, because once you're done with the session, you can always go back and learn about state file. This session is not about Terraform, so I'm not gonna delve deeper into it. So I'm gonna pull in the state file detail. I have already got it created. By the way, state is the first time state you can either create manually or using Terraform, whatever is deemed appropriate for you. So I'm gonna pull in the state details, and that's my state file. I'm gonna put it over here. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna copy. Okay, that is not copying, so I'm gonna just manually copy that and put it right over here. Alright, so we've got ecr.tf state, which is fine, and then we're gonna need the access key and secret key. So for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull in the secret key from here. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna get the key right from here. Okay, so over here you've got something called as access key. You can click on create key. Alright, and then ideally you might not be doing this way in your production environment, but that's fine completely for your. I'm gonna put a braces over here so that we can get rid of this error. For now I'm gonna comment this one because we're gonna just test it locally. So my access key would be this one. Alright, and my secret key gonna be copy it from here. Okay,
Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my terminal. I am going to get into my infrastructure. I'm just, before pushing it to the pipeline, I want to make sure that it locally is compiling fine. So I'm going to do is Terraform init. You could do that as well because it's always okay. It's under ECR, so I'm going to get into ECR. Now I'm going to run Terraform init. Now this is going to initialize our code, pick up the access key. Okay, no backend key. We need to have the backend key. Backend is S3, bucket is fine. Key is this region. No valid credential. We have passed on the credential for access key, secret key as well. That shouldn't be giving us an error. Okay, let's try to pass it without the codes. Alright, let's get the code sorted. Now the beauty of the course is we're not gonna do anything back in the recording. Whatever we face the issue, we're gonna solve it right then and there. Let's try to do the init again and see if this kind of gives us any sort of error. No valid providers in chain verbose. So let's see what is it mean by no valid provider. We've got the provider right over here, provider AWS. We've got the region, we've got the access key, secret key. Alright, looking into the code, it looks like it needs the access key and secret key right over here as well. Let's try to do the Terraform init again. Hopefully this time it should be able to initialize it, because when you initialize it, it needs the backend key and access key as well. One of the ways you pass it over here. Another way is you can export it onto your terminal as well. Looks like it is able to download now. Perfect. Now let's do a Terraform plan. Alright, now the plan should tell you that what it is going to create. We're not going to create, we're just going to validate it, and actually we're going to start working on our pipeline. Alright, let's just give it a few seconds and see how it what kind of plans it gives us. There should be two resources it is going to create. One is the ECR repository, and the other one is policy. Right now what it is trying to do is trying to fetch everything from the plan. Alright, we have got an error over here. Let's see, invalid argument function. String required string value for str parameter. Alright, looks like a pretty basic fundamental issue. We are trying to decode here instead of encode, and we're gonna just do JSON encode and then run a plan again, and hopefully this time it should be able to help us, giving us the right plan. And this is how it's gonna be happening with your labs also. You're gonna get into a bunch of errors, resolve it, and that's what we're trying to do it. We're kind of doing a live debugging as well, so that it is actually, this is how it's gonna work on your system as well, where you're gonna bunch of errors and take the route of troubleshooting as well. Once the plan is done, we're gonna switch back to our GitLab CI/CD pipeline. Now plan should be alright. Perfect. As mentioned, there are two things to add. One is the repository, and the other one is the public policy. That's pretty much all. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get into my, let's get our GitLab CI/CD. Now we're gonna add a new ECR stage. So it's gonna be deploy ECR. Alright, and now we're gonna start adding over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say deploy ECR. Alright, and we're gonna say stage equals to deploy ECR. We don't need auto completion. We're gonna use a different image this time, so it's the image gonna be Ubuntu latest. Alright, and then we're gonna start adding the script over here. So first thing first, it's an image where we don't have anything. We need bunch of things. We need AWS CLI, we need Terraform as well. How do you do that? So what I've done is I've already in my scratch pad I've mentioned how do you install bunch of softwares on your GitLab pipeline. Alright, so I'm gonna just close it over here. I'm gonna open this into a split write method. Okay, convenient, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start writing the so what I'm saying is install an apt-get bunch of software for me, apt-get, and then install Python for me. Python, why do we need Python? We need Python for a bunch of things. We need to install AWS CLI, so we need Python for that. I'm gonna just put in Python over here. Then we need Terraform as well. How do you install Terraform? First you define the version, then using the curl command you could install Python, and similarly you could do it on your system as well. What we are doing over here, what we are curling is the HashiCorp release page. We are saying Terraform version, we are variabilizing it. If you're seeing how do we variabilize it, dollar and then curly braces Terraform version, which we are picking right from here. So you can maintain the version right from here, and then we are again saying Terraform version and installing the Linux version and then zip it in the output. Alright, then we want to unzip it, move it to a specific location, which is okay, move it to a specific location, and then once it moves we can just remove the zip folder as well. Alright, and then what we need is pretty much all. That's gonna just download the bunch of software. What do we need next? We need to cd into, where is our code? Our code is in, where is in AWS Intra. So we say AWS hyphen intra. Alright, hyphen, and inside ECR. Alright, ECR. Alright, perfect. And then what does it need? It needs to do a Terraform init. Alright, and then Terraform validate, and then Terraform plan. Alright, we're not gonna do apply. All of this is gonna fail because of a bunch of reason. Alright, and what else? We need variables also, right? Should we define the variable right over here? For now it might just not be making complete sense to you, but that's completely fine. What we need is AWS region. Alright, region, and region we have defined, so you can define the variable right over here. What I'm gonna do is, do I have a git ignore file? I don't want to push bunch of things. I don't want to push the state file which is stored over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add dot git ignore. Git ignore is the file which ignores already exists. Okay, where does the git ignore? There is the git ignore. I'm gonna do a Terraform as well, so I'm gonna say anything with dot Terraform, please ignore that. Alright, Terraform lock as well. I don't want to push Terraform state as well. Don't want to push state backup as well, and that's pretty much all. Alright, now what's gonna happen is if you go to the commit, alright, before commit we want to do one thing. I want to run this pipeline, right? So even if this pipeline fails, I want to say move it to the next one. Okay, so I want to say allow failure true, which means even if this pipeline fails, it is fine. It is fine for it to move on to the next stage. Okay, so what I'm saying is allow failure true. This is even if your pipeline fail, it is gonna move on to the next one. Allow failure true, build stage, and then over here and over here as well. Alright, allow failure true. Perfect. Now if these kind of fails, it gonna move on to this particular stage as well. Alright, let's see what it is trying. What we have done is we've done GitLab git ignore, and we've added a bunch of Terraform. We've added our new stage we've added our new Terraform code. Okay, we can't be pushing these things. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy these into my scratch pad so that it stays on my local. All right. Never push any of the secret. So what we're gonna do is we need to do var dot access key and then var dot secret key. Perfect. What else? I think you need to, I'm just gonna pull in my terminal. You need to remove these from here as well. You could define your variabilize your region as well. We've already done that. We've kind of variabilized, defined the value in our GitLab, so it can pick up right from here. For now, I'm gonna just keep it over here. It is showing error because we haven't added the access key variables, so that's been added. Perfect. So all of these variables are added. I'm gonna move into a variable folder. Right, var.tf. I'm gonna just move it over here. Perfect. Just gonna move it from here to here. Perfect. Now the error should be going. If you look at over here, we've got .terraform folder, we've got provider.tf state, we've got everything. None of this is getting checked in because we mentioned it into our git ignore that if there is a state file, if there is a backup, please don't push them. All right, let's start pushing them. All right, GitLab, everything's fine. Perfect. Git ignore, everything's fine. Main.tf, just want to make sure there's no secret, and var as well. I'm using IntelliJ, so none of my scratch file gonna be pushed as well. All right, the commit message is gonna be Terraform stage. Gonna commit and push. Gonna push it. All right, perfect. Now let's come back to our mkdocs app. Give it a refresh. Hope it's being pushed. Yes. All right, let's see if it has started to. Okay, it has started to run the pipeline. We should have our fourth stage, and in the fourth stage, it's not going to be successful. That's for sure. We've made bunch of errors over here. So, but we're going to resolve them one by one. The idea is not to run everything at one go because it's not going to happen in your case as well. You need to troubleshoot. You need to understand what all you need to do in order to get your pipeline ready. So, all right, so I'm going to give it few minutes so that it can reach onto our deploy ECR stage. All right, so if you look over here, it has completed and obviously it has failed. If you go through the logs in your pipeline, you would see that it was able to download the bunch of software, which is Python 3. It was able to download a bunch of other AWS CLI as well. It was able to download the Terraform as well. It was able to run Terraform as well. But it has fallen back with the error saying that no valid credential. Remember, we were getting the same Terraform error, credential error on a local as well. Why? Because you haven't set up any authentication yet on your GitLab with Azure, AWS. I keep saying Azure, but doesn't matter. You haven't set up any authentication between GitLab and your cloud provider, which is AWS. You have set it up on local, and that too you have removed it. There's no access key or secret key over here. How do you do that? First thing first, you got to go to your secrets. So where is your secret? I think it's in the CI/CD. All right, and in the CI/CD, you got to set up the access key and the secret key. All right, in the variable section over here, you haven't got any access key, AWS access key or secret key. Start adding them. All right, so it's gonna be AWS underscore access key. All right, so that's gonna be, is that what we have defined over here as well? Variable access key. Okay, so we've got your access key. I'm gonna say access key ID. Alright, and I'm gonna give the name, gonna pull the value from here. Okay, I'm gonna put it over here. Alright, you could just add the variable your access key ID is added. I'm gonna add the second one, which is AWS access secret access key. What is the value? We're gonna pick up the value from here and put it in your value right over here. Okay, now you need to do bunch of changes in your pipeline. Okay, come back to the pipeline. Okay, and then go to your pipeline, which is over here. Okay, what do you need to do? You need to do bunch of things before the init. Okay, you need to do bunch of things before the init. You need to export. Okay, I'll rather do it over here. One of the way is defining in your Terraform pipeline or Terraform file, and the other way is good. And this is a decent step to do it. So what you do is you export the variable which we have defined over here. Okay, you say access key ID. Okay, access key ID equals to the value which we have defined, which is AWS access key. Okay, and then same way you do it for secret key also. Export secret key, and then this is important, where it needs to get the value from. It needs to get the value from this access key over here. Okay, and once you're done, what you could do is Terraform, you've got your Terraform init, and you have to make sure that what is the variable which we have defined over here. This variable is actually this one in your Terraform code. Where is your Terraform code? Access key, which is this one. Okay, you need to put in over here, and then secret key. Okay, I'm going to take a pause over here. I'm going to let you digest the information because this is important. Authentication is really one of the most important part in Terraform and then AWS. You need to make sure that you understand what we have done over here. So what we have done over here, we have defined the access key and secret key right over here, and we are equating those values with our access key and secret key which we have defined over here, or for that matter over here, var.access key. Access key is the one which we have defined in our variable, and that's how it is being able to pick up the value of access key right from. Alright, so we have defined them. Now it's time to run the Terraform init and then Terraform validate and then Terraform plan. So we need to define bunch of variables over here, which is first one is AWS region, alright, which is, you could simply define the region like this, AWS region, AWS underscore region, which can be picked up right from here. Okay, if you haven't defined in your pipeline, then we have got the var, which is important. How do you get the AWS access key? So variable is access key. Okay, define over here access key, put it into the braces, and then equals to, we have defined the access key right over here. Alright, and then -var. Similarly for secret key as well, secret, which we have defined over here, secret key equals to AWS access secret key, which we can pick up right from here. Okay, this way what we have done is we have defined the plan, and then similarly we can do the apply as well. I'm gonna just copy this one and paste it, and instead of plan we're gonna say this time do the apply. Alright, let's go through it again. We've got the access key, we've got the secret key, we've got the plan, which is variable region is not expected here because we've already defined hard-coded the region over here, so we don't need the variable. But just in case, if you have defined region as a variable, you could be picking up variable right from here as well. All right, and then what we are passing is -var and then access key, which is equated with this value, and same for secret as well. All right, I'm gonna push the changes, gonna commit, and these are the changes which we have got. I'm gonna push it, select the file, and gonna just push it to my pipeline. Let's come back to our pipeline, move away from this and go to the build stage, go to the pipeline, and let's see if it's been triggered. If yes, then we should just wait for the third stage to get started. The first two stages we don't care about, we care about the third stage. Right, welcome back. So we've been able to initialize it successful. If you go back to the Terraform documentation, there are a bunch of ways you can see how you can do the authentication. The first one is the passing the access key and secret key, which we did once, then we removed it, and then we passed in with the variable. Second one is export the variables access key and secret key before it actually start the initialization, and that's what we have done in our pipeline. We have exported the access key and we've equated it with the variable key of the variable which we have defined in our GitLab. Same secret key of the, and equating it with the access key which we have defined in our pipeline. All right, let's come back to our pipeline again. If you look at over here, the initialize was successful. It is able to give us a plan, and everything is success. And when it is trying to do an apply, it is failing. Error asking for approval. Now, when you do a Terraform plan on your local, it asks yes or no, right? It asks you yes or no, but it cannot do it on the pipeline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say auto approve, and same way I'm going to do a Terraform destroy also. Just going to copy, do a Terraform destroy. All right. That's pretty much all, because I don't want it to run again and again, and it's gonna bill us as well. So once if you're on a dev or a POC, you can always run a destroy as well, because that's kind of saves you cost also. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just disable these two pipeline, comment out the pipeline for now. I don't want it to run for now. I'm just straight away want to run it. As you can see, if you do an apply, it asks for yes or no. Now in the pipeline, who will say yes or no? Nobody's, right? Because pipeline is non-interactive. So that's why we are saying apply auto approve. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just commit this one, and just gonna commit and push the changes. Gonna push it. All right, and then once this is pushed, go back to our pipeline. All right, go back to our project mkdocs and see if the pipeline has been running. Let's go back to our master pipeline, and okay, there has been an error. Let's see what error it is showing, and we're gonna chosen stage does not exist. .pe apply and post. Okay, chosen state doesn't exist. Okay, looks like we gotta be enabling this one. Okay, let's just enable this one. Let's push it. I'm gonna show you how you can hide your jobs as well in the upcoming session, so that we don't have to deal with such kind of error. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just push it, and this time let's see if it is able to run the pipeline as well or not. Let's go to our pipeline and see if we have got our pipeline running. What we really care about is the last one. Okay, let it run, and in the last one we're going to see whether it is able to deploy the infrastructure this time or not. I hope this was informative. I'll see you in the next one once the pipeline is also successful. Thank you.